This video contains major spoilers for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. If you don't want spoilers, go watch the movie first. You have and will be warned throughout this video. Yeah.
Alright.
So the Five Nights at Freddy's movie finally came out after a whole 8 years. And I'm going to be joining here with Andrew Incorporated, who you may remember from the Mario Party 8 videos I edited a couple times. As you may know from my channel's history, before I ended up getting a hardcore reboot in 2019, I was a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan, way into the series. And I've been waiting for this movie for so long. And the fact that it finally came out is like a fucking dream come true. Andrew, what were your first memories with Five Nights at Freddy's? Like, where and when did you first hear about the game?
I think when it comes to my earliest memories of Five Nights at Freddy's, there are definitely two sources. One of them was a video that was done by Jaden Animations, where she animated I as Cupquake was playing the game. And that was also my first time finding about Jaden Animation. And then another early time I can remember was this one music video that somebody made for the Living Tombstone for the original Five Nights at Freddy song, where it's like a bunch of My Little Pony characters getting fucking murdered by Freddy Fazbear and the gang as they all dance as their cheap flash animation. I don't know where that's from, but that's also my first time hearing that song.
Yeah.
And after that, I found the it was either Markiplier or PewDiePie that I watched him play the game, and I just like, you know what, this Freddy Fazbear shit's kind of cool.
Honestly, yeah. My first experience with Five Nights at Freddy's was when I was watching either Markiplier or Yummy Mash, one of the two, and a Yummy Mash Five Nights at Freddy's compilation appeared in the recommended section. I had never heard of this game, because back then in the early 2010s YouTube horror game landscape, at least from my neck of the way how I see it, you usually have Amnesia, a couple of Slender clones, some pixel horror games, and some obscure, badly made, weird horror indie game projects, and that's about it. But most of which you'll probably get either I'm Scared, a pixelated nightmare, or another Slender clone. So Five Nights at Freddy's was like a breath of fresh air at the time. No one was really doing a Chuck E. Cheese showbiz pizza place horror game before. At least to my extent, no one has ever done that before. And it seemed like a really damn good idea. I saw the Yummy Mash video on it, and then I saw Markiplier play it, and he got me to be okay, yeah, I should play this game. And I've been a fan of it ever since. There's been some ups and downs, and I haven't really played through the entirety of Security Breach, but from what little I've played, it seems okay. But the big thing,
it's an interesting mix.
Yeah, it's an odd little game. But the main thing that I was really hyped for at the time was, I think it was announced a month after FNAF 3 came out, was the potential Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And any fan of the game knew the hell that the movie had to go through.
That me.
Yeah. A couple of different studios, a bunch of different producers and directors, tons of scrapped scripts, one of which was often rumored to be reused as something else, the Banana Splits movie in 2019. And just this long period of is it gonna come out? Is it ever gonna come out? Is it gonna be any good? And it's when the trailer first leaked, and when they officially put out the trailer, where that worries kind of went away, because the movie looked really damn good. And then it all culminated into this year on October 27th, where the movie was officially released. 2 days earlier if you live in the UK. So, knowing the production hell that we had to go through, that we had to wait for to be able to see this movie, was it worth the hype? Well, we should actually like focus on what happened in the movie first and like work our way up from there. And no, this video is not going to be like a look at the cameos and the references and Easter eggs and shit like that. If you're looking for a video like that, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have already done videos like that already. And yeah. And final warning for the video, if you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't seen the movie yet, see it. What the hell are you doing? Go see the movie. It's out right now. And then maybe come back for this video. All right, so join me and Andrew as we take a look at the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So where do we start?
Shit. There's a lot to talk about, so it's like,
yeah.
I guess we could briefly talk about the story first.
Yeah,
because I know that's kind of been probably the hardest part to do for like a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, considering the fucking lore of this is probably just as complicated as Kingdom Hearts. It's like, how are you going to take all of that and push it into a 1-hour movie?
That's probably why there were so many scrapped script ideas.
Yeah, but I say what they did, you know, considering what they had to work with, I say they probably did the best they could, and I'm honestly really satisfied with what they did. Honestly,
it's a really damn good movie. So, Mike, played by Walter from Zathura, Josh Hutcherson,
and also the kid from the Polar Express.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah. I'm just
I
gonna
found
refer
that out.
to him
Like,
as
no
Walter
way.
because of the connotations of the thing. So,
I also found out he was the what was it? The little boy from Howl's Moving Castle. You know, with the green vest. I forgot his fucking name.
Oh shit, yeah. So Mike is struggling to find different jobs because he keeps fucking it up. He got fired from his recent one, and he goes to his job counselor, played by Matthew motherfucking Lillard. We'll get to him in a minute. And he says that there is a rundown pizza place that used to be popular in the 80s that he could try to keep an eye on. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Yeah, after thinking about it for a bit, he takes the job offer, and he gets explained... Like, Matthew explained that the pay is worse than the actual... Or, like, the pay sucks. The pay legitimately sucks, and the job is boring as fuck. You have to keep an eye on security cameras to make sure no one breaks into the building. And little did Mike know that it's very fucking haunted.
Didn't get a little bit quirky at night.
Yeah, exactly. So, after a bit, this cop named Vanessa, I forgot who the actress was. I'll probably put her on the screen if I can remember her. Vanessa tells Mike about a little bit about what happened back in the 80s that caused, this place to shut down. Surprisingly, no bites were involved. Instead, it just involved some guy in a yellow bunny fursuit luring children into a dark place and, brutally murdering them, kickstarting the plot of the movie. And it wasn't until later where he gets the sudden realization that, oh fuck, these robots are fucking possessed and they're angry. And it wasn't until he brings along Abby, I don't remember who she's played by, Abby being the I think it was his little sister. Yeah, I think it was his sister. Where he brings her to the place to have her sleep over while he does his job, and by that I mean he just sleeps to try to... Okay, the reason why he sleeps is because he wants to find out who kidnapped his younger brother. That it was a traumatic event that happened when he was like around 11 or 12. And he's trying to figure out who kidnapped him. Little did he know. So, while he's asleep, someone calls over for Abby, which gets her to get near the animatronics, which fully reveals to Mike that there are dead children's souls and bodies in the animatronics controlling said animatronics. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy in that order. And Abby is actually not fazed by any of this. The fact that, the robots are probably rank as fuck with the decomposing bodies and shit. And the fact that, they're possessed by dead children, but they seem to like Abby, and Abby seems to like them. They get along rather quickly. Mike, not so much, and Vanessa even explains that this might be a little dangerous. And after after a full-fledged fort building montage in the middle of the movie,
I want to talk about that later.
Yeah.
you continue that.
Yeah. So after that happens, I'm trying to remember specifically what happened.
She goes to touch his Bonnie's guitar, which fucking blasts electricity and fucking almost kills her.
Yeah. And then the aunt comes in. Oh yeah, the aunt fucking hates Mike. The aunt hates Mike and is trying to get him fired or killed throughout the entire movie.
Well, she's trying, from what I remember, she's trying to get custody of Abby.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from Mike, he says she's only doing it for some sort of inherent. So
Right.
she's trying to sabotage his workplace and get him fired and make him look like a shitty person.
Yeah. And one of the ways she tried to do that was to get three or four people to break into the building while Mike just leaves for his workplace. Like, he just finishes his job and leaves to go back home. This causes the animatronics to become incredibly pissed and kill them off one by one. With the girl, I don't remember her name, getting the gnarliest fucking kill, one of the gnarliest kills in the fucking movie.
I thought Freddy was just gonna fucking just fucking bite her head off. No, he took that bitch and just fucking
torso just bit off.
Half. And
that
it
was
honestly
cool.
It was the most unhinged fucking metal thing ever from that entire movie. It caught me off guard.
Yeah, I've got to say, for the PG-13 rating, they did a great fucking job with the kills.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. So after they all die, like later on, the aunt, the fucking, I'm trying to remember what happens while Abby is staying around in her house with her bullshit fucking aunt in the house. One of the spirits comes into contact with Abby. I almost said Avi. God damn it! It comes into contact with Abby in the form of Golden Freddy, which was honestly really fucking cool and terrifying. It kind of reminds me of FNAF 4, how the animatronics are just roaming around the house.
I guess so, yeah. Just without the fucking gas.
Yeah.
Or was it confirmed that the whole thing in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was like gas hallucinations that fucking William pumped into his house to scare his children?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on that.
Because I think I remembered there was a book, I either like a recent book that explained this whole nightmare gas. And people are like, oh, so that's the stuff that William used in the fourth game.
So, I don't know what the kid's actual name. I'm just gonna call him Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy completely one-hit KOs the aunt, thank fucking God, and drags Abby into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Meanwhile, after an excursion with the animatronics, Mike ends up getting away from this fucking saw trap contraption that you've seen in the opening of the movie. One of the more intense scenes in the entire film, not gonna lie. Um, uh, Mike gets his injuries like fixed up a little bit by Vanessa, who found him randomly, and she explains that the animatronics are being controlled by her father, William Afton.
Oh my god.
And the job consultant that was helping Mike get a job at Freddy Fazbear's in the first place was revealed to be William himself. So later on, they drive all the way to Freddy Fazbear's to save Abby, because Mike, this is kind of all over the place. Mike, during this dream sequence, talks to the kid that was stuck in Golden Freddy, about trying to find his brother, and the kid explains that if you want this, you have to give us Abby. So after he's like, no, I don't want that, this is a mistake, it was already too late. So he drives all the way to Freddy Fazbear's to try to save Abby from the animatronics. And it's where we get to see William Afton in his Springlock suit beating the ever-loving crap out of Mike. Like, I didn't think those robot suits would be any flexible, but shit, there's like high kicks and punches and shit.
He fucking wears an Iron Man suit in that. He just fucking just like survives a taser and just fucking punches fucking Mike like it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Fuck yeah. So Abby gets this idea to draw a picture of what actually happened to the kids, because the kids are in this belief that what is it? That someone else killed them or something, or they don't know who killed them, and they're trying to look for some vengeance. But when Abby reveals in a drawing that she later posted onto the wall of other drawings that it was the rabbit who killed the kids, they started turning over to William and trying to kill him, thus resulting in the greatest fucking scene in the fucking movie, where he exclaims,
"We've been waiting for
I always come back," and the spring locks fail, fully killing William Afton and destroying a bit of the building as Mike, Abby, and Vanessa try to leave the building. At the end of the movie, everything seemed to be normal. They visit Vanessa in the hospital and hope that she recovers well. And Mike and Abby they get to spend more time with each other, and they're happier and everything. And then the movie ends with Golden Freddy just looking on at the slowly dying William Afton, closing off the movie, hyping up for a potential sequel.
Can I say the ending to that is very similar to the first Saw movie, where it's just somebody leaving like a man dying behind with the door closing, and it cuts to credits?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And then it fucking cuts the fucking living tombstone, and my entire theater blew into fucking explosion. It sounded like the fucking world was ending.
Yeah, my theater was almost kind of like that, just a little subdued, but there were still people going like, holy fucking shit. I don't really get to see that when looking into the theaters. Like, it's a magical fucking experience.
I was about to say, that's probably the most I've seen the most people like react to like any movie. I think the only time I've seen where somebody reacted to something similar like that maybe was Endgame, but honestly, I think that was even more than Endgame. All right.
I think where do we go from here?
I guess we could talk about any specific scenes that we like, just like any little things that we noticed that made us go, "Wow, what's a
Yeah,
thing?"
right. I think the opening of the movie is a effective way to kickstart the overall feel of the movie. You see the security guard trying to get out of here, Foxy chasing after him, and him being trapped in this saw contraption where his face is going to get sawed off with the Freddy Fazbear mask. Really intense shit. I loved that opening sequence. Really damn good.
It is, yeah. I like the music that they played for the intro as well.
Oh
That was
yeah.
also really well done. A lot of the music in it was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Um there's a scene where um well, for the animatronics themselves, I do like how even though like you see a little bit of that what would you call it, childhood wonder in them, there's still they don't talk. They don't make the robots talk. Not even like cartoony, like, of course not. This is Freddy talking. Like, they don't do that. But you can still
Yeah.
feel the emotions, and it adds character to the stilted robots.
I was gonna say the practical effects are really really well handled, and they managed to make the animatronics both look like innocent looking while also being like deadly at the same time. They perfectly match that balance, just like in the
Yeah,
original game back in the olden days.
I think that perfectly describes overall the first Five Nights at Freddy's character designs. It blurs the line between cute childhood wonderment to absolutely fucking creepy.
Yep.
Heads up to the shout out to the Jim Henson Creature Shop. They did a fucking
Jim
great
Henson Creature
job.
Shop based as fuck.
It was a little miffed that we never got like movie specific redesigns for the movie, though I would be kind of mad if we didn't get to see the original gang in the big screen, and thankfully we do. It looks really damn good.
I know when everybody was thinking like FNAF movie redesigns, I was thinking of the what was that one game? Five Nights at Freddy's
FNAF
Plus
Plus,
when that was coming
yeah,
out. And how everybody was using that for like promotional stuff, even though it was just for something completely else. If they looked something like that, I would have not mind, but I'm honestly really glad that we got like game accurate looks to them.
yeah.
Also,
What
shout
you
out for finally having a canonical Sparky the dog.
Fuck yeah. That honestly fucking surprised me. Like, the reference over in the diner was one thing. Oh shit, hold on. Sorry. Sorry, someone was asking me about a haunted house.
No, that's all good.
The diner name was one thing, but having a scrapped dog robot in one of the scenes was such, wait a minute. Isn't that Sparky? Like, that's how you know that we're like OGs in this situation.
Speaking of Sparkies, I saw somebody point this out on Twitter, but somebody said that the reason why MatPat's character's name is Ness is a reference to the whole Sans' Ness thing that he started.
Oh, that's
I'm not sure if
funny.
that's 100% true, but honestly, if that's the case, that is fucking
That is
hilarious.
funny.
I know he made a whole behind the scenes video, but I still need to check that out.
Oh yeah. Um, I'm trying to think what other scenes did I really enjoy. Oh, the random as hell fort building montage in the middle of the film.
That's the scene I know that's gonna like tick a lot of people off because it completely ruins the whole scary atmosphere with like, goofy bears building a fort. Uh-oh, buddy fell over. But it's like I kind of get why they did something like
Yeah.
that
There's
because
still
it's one it kind of like, despite how do I put it? It tries to make you think that they're not all that scary, and it's like it tries to like allure Mike into thinking, oh, these guys aren't so bad after all. And two, in the end, they're still children, and
Yeah.
They're
Whereas,
they're they're not the enemies. They're the victims. They didn't do nothing wrong. They just fucking
I
mind their
mean,
own
I
business.
mean, they
Then
are
fucking
being
Williams like,
like
I'm a
yeah, they
fucking
were
murder
being
you.
controlled by Williams, so yeah. But I personally don't mind the scene. It adds like I think it. I'm trying to find the right wording here. It adds depth to the animatronics, knowing that they're vengeful spirits, but they still have like the childlike wonder in them.
Yeah. Again, I can see why that could be off-putting for some people, but for me, I don't know. I found it silly. I found it goofy.
Yeah, it was a fun scene.
Let's see.
That
What
in the
else can we
FNAF
talk about?
series has its own like has an occasional like it sometimes dabbles into that kind of humor.
Yeah. I definitely say during Sister Location, that's where they started doing the whole more comedic stuff,
Yeah.
which is fine. I don't hate that kind of stuff.
Uh
Let's see.
all the fucking death scenes are fucking intense.
Yeah, but besides the whole fucking what's her face getting chomped in half,
Yeah.
there was a lot of some good deaths. Like fucking the guy who got his face bitten off by the cupcake, and then there was the
Yeah.
beginning with the guy getting tortured. They definitely cut away from it, which kind of bothered me because it's like I get it's PG-13 and it's like it definitely both in the game and in the movie a lot of the death is like implied or rarely shown and it's really up to like the person's slash player's interpretation.
Right.
But that might be me. I don't know.
Yeah. Um yeah, I think the opening like bit put me on the edge. It's funny because we ended up watching like Saw X like a day or two later. So
Yeah. All
I'm trying
right.
to think.
How about we talk about things that we don't like about the movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Uh
spoilers, it's not an entirely perfect movie.
it's obviously it's obviously a movie for the fans. So I get why critics are a little not too kind to these kind of movies. But we do have like a couple of either nitpicks or problems with the movie. Anything you want to point out?
Um, I definitely say like the way how it paces itself, like in the beginning, it definitely was like it was slow as like it's supposed to build that atmosphere. During the end, I feel like they kind of rush everything in the end with the whole Vanessa doing plot explanation. I think that's probably
Yeah,
also why Vanessa's not really like she's not the worst character. She's just a character that didn't resonate with me because she's more of just like explains plot to Mike so that Mike can be up to date.
right.
But yeah, it definitely by the beginning it's definitely slow, and by the end it feels like they're rushing everything. I honestly kind of wish this was like a 2 hour movie. I feel like those 30 minutes would have helped a lot.
Yeah, I feel like the movie could have benefited if it was a little longer or if they cut some parts out. Because there's like a few moments I feel like could have been better off if they were either cut entirely or made shorter.
Yeah,
Um, the fucking the fucking crying child jump scare was so fucking unnecessary. It's a
it
decent
was
visual, and
like a creepy pasta.
it's a nice reference to the mini games, but like it wasn't like necessary.
Yeah. Uh, this isn't a nitpick, but fuck Balloon Boy. All my homies hate Balloon Boy.
Yeah, Balloon Boy has 3 full jump scares in the fucking movie, and he's not even like an actual character. It's just like a tiny toy on a shelf. The last jump scare with Corey Kenshin was actually pretty funny though.
It was, yeah. Let's see what else. What else? I know there's also the whole debate about the movie being like not really a horror movie and it's more like a thriller. But honestly, again, I don't think that's a huge issue for me, at least, because
Yeah,
Five Nights at Freddy's has always been focused on more of a story in a way. You
yeah,
know, like how most horror movies focus on trying to scare you rather than, for the most part, trying to tell a story.
right.
And like, and that's what more of a thriller is. It focuses more on a story rather than the horrors. For the most part, the horror being, you know, the conflict of the movie. And
Right.
I feel like for Five Nights at Freddy's that works.
Let me think. Some of the casting, we could talk about some casting.
I guess, yeah, yeah.
Um, Josh as Mike, I think he did a good job with the character.
Yeah, he pretty much sold me on it. Yeah.
Yeah, the kid actress for Abby is kind of hit and miss. I think there was the scene where Mike gets brutally beaten up by William towards the end, and she was panicking. Like, I don't really believe that. I don't know. It sounded off to me.
Mm.
Um, Vanessa wasn't that bad.
Again, she did I think her role was good. I just wish she did something more interesting than just explain plot.
Right. Like you could have. I think the intro like told you what you necessarily needed to know.
Pretty much, yeah.
The people controlling the animatronics did a good job. Some people didn't like the red eyes. I didn't mind them.
I didn't recognize the red eyes. I thought they were more like a yellowish kind of old color.
I guess in early trailers they were more red-ish, or like later on in the movie they were red.
I was about to say I remember Foxy and Bonnie getting red eyes, but that's the only ones I can remember.
Uh, and of course we have Matthew Lillard, Shaggy from Scooby Doo, Stu from Scream, Matthew Lillard as William fucking Afton. Easily the highlight of one of the many highlights of the movie.
I think that's another issue for me. I wish there was more of him. Like I
Yeah.
honestly really liked his role.
Like when we first see him and he reads Mike's name and just looks at him like, that's nice, what would you call it? Uh, Foreshadowing. It's nice, subtle foreshadowing for the end of the movie. And of course,
Yeah.
when you finally see him as William Afton, it's fucking great.
Oh my gosh, I want to talk about the fucking introduction to him, where it's like the music suspenses, you see the white glowing eyes, and it just slowly
Yeah,
reveals the fucking Spring Bonnie. That was honestly one of the best fucking villain introductions I've ever seen.
absolutely. It was
It
so
is
good.
so, dude, my theater lost it when they saw that scene, and it was like, oh, it is hilarious. It is funny as fuck.
I like to imagine that he was just there throughout the whole time. Like when they're having like a dance party in the middle of the movie and he's just like, "Oh god, why?" But yeah, William Afton, easily one of the best characters in the movie. The most intense, the most horrifying, the most fun character in the movie. What honestly, Matthew Lillard did the character justice. And I
He
like
honestly
how
did.
yeah, I like how I mentioned Stu from Scream there because he does like the ghost face like wiping blood off the blade thing from the Scream movies. That's
Oh
a
my
nice
gosh, you're
fucking
right.
callback. That's a nice callback.
See, I'm trying to think what other things in this movie that was. Hmm. This is not a lot I could think about that we haven't already said.
Yeah.
Um, I guess what's another interesting thing that I remember leading up to this movie was the whole like I'm interested to see what they cut because there's a lot of things that they cut. Like I know in one of the recent promotional trailers, or like one of the recent promotional things that they did, they showed a Shadow Freddy.
What?
I gotta find it, but um, you remember the whole Freddy in Space 3 thing, right?
I think so.
So yeah, Scott made like a recent game called Freddy in Space 3, and if you win the game, it sends you to a URL link for like a new Five Nights at Freddy's promotion thing, and it showed like many different screens showing like the different types of like scenes from the movie, and one of them showed like this purple Freddy with like white eyes. I'm sending a picture in the chat right now, and it never really was shown up or mentioned. So it
Oh,
may.
it was in
I'm
the
thinking this
security
may or
footage
may.
teaser.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is like a possible like cut content or like
Maybe a
or it's like
tease for the
something.
sequel?
Yeah, my prediction is that this is what the spirit was supposed to be. You know, with like Golden Freddy, I feel like this was supposed to be where it was supposed to be.
Maybe.
Also, a couple other things. There was a lot of behind the scenes photos where they showed like an unwithered Foxy before he had like all his holes and tears, and he just looked like
Oh,
like a part of the normal animatronic. So I was wondering if there's gonna be like flash, or there were gonna be like flashbacks to like the old pizzeria or something like that.
probably.
And last but not least is some of the casting, because I know you brought up that the animatronics don't talk in like goofy, funny, haha voices, but they actually were supposed to have like actual cartoony voices. I'm guessing for like commercials or something like that. And one of the interesting things about it is that they had somebody casted as the puppet. So I was wondering,
Oh,
is that supposed to be like another character who was supposed to be in it but got cut entirely?
I don't know. Maybe if the DVD and Blu-ray comes out and it has deleted scenes, we might take a look at it.
It definitely is gonna have deleted scenes, so I'm hoping we get to see what that was all about.
There's no R-rated cut, they say, but there's a shit ton of scenes and bits and pieces that wasn't in the full movie.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we get to see those, and hopefully those will clear some of the things up.
Yeah. Um, so with all this in mind, with a plot that was simple but works, with acting that wasn't too shabby, with Matthew Lillard being the best out of them all, with special effects that were really damn good, with all that in mind and all of the waiting and development hell, was can we recommend Five Nights at Freddy's the movie? Honest to God, yes.
I guess I would say yes with a question mark, because again, similar to what you said before, this movie is definitely geared more towards people who are familiar with the franchise. I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
anyone who goes in trying to see this movie, I feel like is honestly going to be either confused or just like not that impressed by the movie. Which
right.
again, I can kind of understand the critic rating. Like I don't think maybe like it would be like a 26, maybe like a 30 or 40 for like critics, but it's like I do kind of see why people don't like this movie. You know, they especially with the whole lead up to it. But again, similar to what you said, I honestly think this was worth the wait, and I really, really had a good time. The atmosphere, the energy, the just everything about this movie. This is gonna be a really hot take, but I honestly got that warm, nostalgic feeling energy from this movie than the Mario movie. I'm sorry, internet.
Same
Yell at me all you
here.
want. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
I love the Mario movie, but FNAF. We waited way too long for this to come out. You know.
Yeah. I'm
So
just saying,
as a
Five Nights at Freddy's video game movie of the year.
yeah,
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
it's also honestly one of the more feel good movies of the year. Oddly enough, like you do feel bad for the dead children that were put inside the robots. It was a surprisingly emotional horror movie. Now that I think about it.
I guess so in a way, yeah.
Yeah. So, as a non-fan or as a person slowly getting into the franchise, you probably would either like this movie fine or probably not. But if you're a super fan like both of us who've been waiting for way too long for this to come out, yes, absolutely.
100%. If I say hurry now, Halloween season's almost over. I say that's the perfect time to watch the movie.
Hell yeah.
I think that's the best part, that it came out on Halloween. It's not like
That's
the fucking Haunted
absolutely
Mansion where they released a
perfect.
spooky movie in July and then nobody watched it, and then Disney like, why didn't we watch it? Because you released it on fucking summer. Nobody's watching that in summer.
It's made for the Halloween season. And stuff like this is made for the Halloween season.
So yeah, that's I guess that's all I gotta say.
That's our thoughts on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
The second movie's in pre-production apparently, so
Oh,
hopefully we'll
shit.
get more news about that. Hopefully a teaser next year. Hopefully some
Hopefully.
updates. I know it's probably not going to release like next year, but
Yeah.
I hope we get more news about it soon, because I am
Hell
honestly
yeah.
really intrigued in this movie's lore, and I really want to see more of what they do with it.
I will be there when it comes out. I want to see
I'm gonna
more of
be
this
there.
shit.
I am 100% ready for this.
And whether the sequel's gonna pull the first movie and just have a simultaneous streaming service and theater release, I will watch it no matter what it takes.
100% agree. That's all I could say.
Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, gets my personal thumbs up.
Me too.
Okay. What is the joke that will end the video? How can we end the video?
How are we gonna end a video like this? Are you gonna use the Balloon Boy Drew Wellington thing?
For the thumbnail, yeah.
Okay.
I'll also probably use in the video if I can. I don't know when I'll implement that.
All right. I was about to say, speaking of thumbnail, I was drawing some thumbnail related stuff during our whole chat thing. I also put those in chat, so you can take those pictures and just edit them.
Oh, that's
however you
awesome.
want.
That is fucking awesome, Andrew. Be sure to subscribe to Andrew Incorporated. He makes a lot of cool shit. And if you want more... Oh, what's that?
I was gonna say, I don't do much on my YouTube channel, but I guess I have a Twitter where I occasionally post stuff sometimes. So if you want to see me be active online, I guess that's the only place
That's
I am
fair.
mostly active in.
That's
but also
fair.
check out my YouTube when I do decide to eventually post something.
I'll provide links to both his channel and his Twitter in the description below. And as always, if you like this video, good for you. Be sure to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload within the next millennia. And yeah, that's our take on Five Nights at Freddy's the movie. If you haven't seen the movie yet, but don't care for spoilers, watch it in general. Just go see the movie. It's a real good fun time.
Make your own opinion of it.
Make your own FNAF movie.
Yeah.